Hello everyone and welcome back to another scrap mechanic video. You're really going to like this one. I'm telling you right now, this thing that I built, that we have been building on the live stream that I just did, is so much fun. It's absolutely awesome, and our next couple of videos are probably going to revolve around the different projects that we can do with this. Now, what is it exactly? I don't know what I'm going to call this video yet, but it was supposed to be a monorail, but it ended up being a dual rail. And I guess it's like a train system, or like a transport system with designated paths or tracks, however you want to call it. It's a lot of fun, and I'm going to talk about it in a second. First of all, I do just want to talk about this area here. This is going to be our factory slash warehouse, and I've done a little bit of detailing around here. Do you know what? Adding things like crates on a pallet does so much for the area, and if we walk up top, you'll see I've added a few other details up here as well, like there's a pipe that now connects to a random sink at the top here, and all of this stuff looks really cool, and I just wanted to mention that. Now, this thing is going to be incorporated to a station which we're going to have for this system, so somewhere over here we will have, well, exactly right here, but I'll make it look a lot nicer. We will have like a walkway to get up and onto this vehicle, and also what I really want to do is build a little crane that you can drive around in this world, and then we can have like a loading ramp, and we can bring up goods, you know, pick it up on one side of the factory and put it in the back of this thing and then transport it to somewhere else in our world. This is going to be a world of fun, trust me. Anyway, if we press that button on the ground there, we can actually fold out the sides, and that counts as a step, allowing us to hop up to the top here, which is really cool. Now, the rest of this right here is basically the basics. Is not much more to it than that. So let's hit the switch. Let's jump into this car and let's go for a drive. It is incredible, I've got to say. We can park ourselves on this bit right here. This is our turntable for getting around to the different areas. Then we can hit this switch and it's rotating us the wrong direction. That's a great start. Let's actually go in the other direction. That also apparently goes in the wrong direction. I literally just finished streaming, so a lot of this stuff is still you know, to be sussed out. And a lot of what I'm going to be showing you, by the way, we're doing the very basics. These are the first steps. If you go and watch the live streams, which are uploaded to the second channel, you will see that I went through a ton of trial and error to get this stuff to work. Now, I'll be completely honest and say most of that error was me being derpy. No, I want to hit that again. Ugh. And some of it, a small percent of it, was genuine trial and error. Okay, so now we're going to hit that button, and we're going to rotate. How have I got that wrong? How have I got that wrong? I know exactly how, actually. So I think I just rotated one of the bottom ones here. I decided to put 4 of them on in case we wanted to, you know, use them that way. Right, and now they're all turned off. I am not getting off to a good start with this video, am I? But that's fine. It's not prepared, clearly. Okay, are we now facing in the right direction? I think we are. If not, we're going to do it in reverse, just because this was something that I added at the very end of the live stream. Basically a way to turn it in either direction, because we're going to put something over there. I've got tons of ideas for things that we can do with this. Anyway, let's drive along. We can now go across a normal section of track. We can go down as well. And we have to give it some rev there, because there's a little thing at the bottom to connect it. And now we can go onto this bit over here. And we can use the turntable again. And we can go off onto this track over here. Let's do it. Now, this is actually a loading base system. Oh, this is so cool. Alright, so we can get on here, we can drive and hold down accelerator and then realise, hey, why is that broken? That should be absolutely fine to go across there. Oh, there we go. Oh no, we've gone too far and we've crashed. Well, don't worry about that, because we're in the right place to get back on the track. If we stand right here and place this down so it's in line with what we see in front of us, which would be right there. Oh, yeah. We've got to put it over there first. Then we need to pick it up again and put it in line. So, can I see the middle, please? That looks in line. Is it? Let's double check. Yes, it is. So now we raise this up. And over here we've got what is basically like a piston pusher or something along those lines, but we've adapted it for use here. So when we press this button, we're going to extend that between the wheels, and it's also going to land on top of this thing right here. So that's going to hold the weight, because otherwise this would collapse underneath the weight, which is something that we learned with this bit over here. So we had a suggestion in the stream to use like the default pivot here to create a gradual slope, And that worked, but you need something for it to land on. And so over here we've got these pipes, and you can just about get through those with the wheels, and the same thing goes for this bit over here. So let's pop back up top and hop onto this and give it some rev. Oh yeah, we've got to detach the lift as well. There you go, now it's on the tracks. Bam. Can we get up there? It's a little bit finicky. Certain things need some work, as you can see. But now we can go back onto the track. And this turntable here, by the way, is slightly different. It's supposed to have a little bit more support because it's got a wider base at the bottom. How much that makes a difference, I don't know. But we're going to mess around with this design and make these things more stable. I've got a ton of ideas to talk about in this video. And if you guys want to get involved as well and tweet me things, you're more than welcome. It's going to be a community project. It always is, because I have lots of help on the live streams from the people who are watching. And we're going to make this whole, like, monorail minecart stuff, you know. I've just realised that I've left my Twitch follower notice window open, and if in the background you can hear some little noises, that's people who are clicking follow on the live stream. Don't fall off. Managed to stay on. Incredible. Oh, it's so much fun. Okay, and now we're probably going to get turned like the wrong way both times, right? I tell you what, actually we can reverse in. That's actually the correct way. Excellent. Come on. You can do it. I know you can. I don't know why it's stalling a little bit. There we go. And bam, we have parked and we can get off again. So you've seen the basics of what's possible there. The design of this thing could probably be improved a little bit. I have some plans for what I want to do with this stuff, and we're going to talk about it. So one thing that I realized a moment ago is that we can make diagonal tracks, and it might be a little bit tricky to figure out, but basically if you have a bearing like this, and we need a controller here, we hook that up to the bearing, we can then set the default to something like this, and you know, we've made a bit of a diagonal track. So that's something that I want to do soon. I want to try and get a diagonal track going. It might be hard to turn onto the diagonal track, but what we'll probably end up using is a turntable like this. So rather than going from something straight that then goes into the diagonal like this, like it's a part of the track, we'll use a turntable that only turns a few degrees and points onto the diagonal track. So that's one of the projects I've got in mind, one of the things that I think is possible with this project. Another one that we're going to try soon is an elevator, a way to like lower this up and down onto different tracks at different heights, which will be similar to like a lock system in a water canal or something along those lines. Another one is a loading station. We were discussing the idea of having like a carriage and being able to clip them together, and then also having a crane in this area that can pick up, you know, items and drop them in the back of this thing. We want to do a better turntable, and we also want a better system for controlling the turntable. So I've got a few ideas as to how this could work. One of them would be to extend these blocks all the way up and over, so when you're in the car here, you can just sort of get out and look up and the buttons are close to you, and that's convenient. But here's my more ambitious idea, and here's where I'm going to need help from all of you, because it's going to be crazy. Now, if you've seen some of the previous videos that I've done, I don't have anything set up to show you, so you know, look on my channel and go back and see them if you haven't. We have sensors, and these sensors can detect when blocks go in front of them. So if we were to do that, we can see that it will come out to over here. So we're going to do this, do that. Oh, we need one more. There we go, and it senses that that is there. So if we press this, then it doesn't sense it. Now what I want to point out here is that this can be a separate structure altogether from this bit over here, which means when we're driving our cart, or whatever you want to call it, around, if we had some little arms that were, say, positioned somewhere on here to extend out the back, and below there is a sensor looking upwards and it turns on, then we can interact with our turntable from this thing right here. So another part of my ideas for that would be that it detects us arriving, and perhaps it can also attach some extra blocks or put something into play that will help us. So one thing we did try already, and I think they have to be at this height here, was these like stoppers on the end. Buffers, I think they're called. And this means you can sort of drive straight into it, bam, and it pushes you back. Now the problem is, you can't really turn when they're there, because picture it like you're touching them. When you start to turn, the edges of this vehicle, they then turn out to the side. So what would be really cool is that when you choose to turn, these also get spun out to the side and they're no longer effective. So that way we can just avoid all of the accidents that could happen and make things genuinely, or generally lazier for ourselves. So we can just go, hey, bam, we've arrived. You know what I mean? And let's say it detects us arriving and smashing into that thing. It could also put up a barrier at the back and lock us into position to be turned. So there is like huge potential for these mechanisms to become much more involved and interesting than what you see right here. Personally, I think the biggest challenge and the one I'm most interested in is getting it to interact with the sensors, because then you can, control what's going to happen from up here. So another thing you may or may not know about, when you hook up your inputs to the steering wheel here, you can press the button on the hotbar. You see how the hotbar now has a switch? If I press 1, we can do that. So we can have these switches attached to the seat here and control it directly here. I can press number 2 and a little block gets pushed out at the back and a sensor detects it and it says you want to turn to the left, you want to turn to the right. I mean, imagine that. We could build some truly amazing and incredible systems with this stuff, and this is going to be my little project from now on. I'm still going to be doing other things in this area and working on our warehouse, but this will be something I probably come back to time and time again. And I think I've said everything I want to say, and my voice is very hoarse because I've just been streaming, like I mentioned. So I've been talking for about 3 hours straight. I think it's time for me to call it a day. If you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like. Of course, leave some feedback. Let me know what you think about the whole project. If you have any ideas or you're building stuff in the game yourself, then tweet me them if you want to share them with me, and maybe we can make this system even better. But that is going to be it from me, this one. So thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.